So hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Electrical Coder. Today we'll be actually seeing another program from HackerRank, and the topic is loops. So we'll be solving program on loops, and let us see what is the task that is there for us. So the task is very simple. There is an integer n, okay, and then we need to find the square of all the non-negative numbers which are less than the integer n. So they have given us the condition to find the square root of all the non-negative numbers I which is less than n by printing I square. So this is what they have given us the task. And here they have given us the example also. If n is equal to 3, then how do we get the output and what should be the output? So if n is equal to 3, the numbers that are less than 3 are 0, 1 and 2. So that becomes your I. And now I have to find the square of each of my I value. So if I go on to find the square of 0, it is 0, 1 is 1 and 2 is 4. So we have to print this consecutively line after line. And then they have also given us some condition that the first and the only line should contain the integer n. So I need to take the input in the starting, and then they are saying that the value of n should be between the value 1 to 20. That is the second condition. And then finally they are telling that print n number of lines, one corresponding to each I. It means that if my n is equal to 5, I need to print 5 output lines, and each output line should correspond to the I value. Okay, so if, for example, n is equal to 5, so the numbers that are less than 5, which becomes actually I, are 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 5 numbers, and I get 5 output lines one after the other. So this is the task that they have given us. Now let us see how do we write the code for this particular problem. But first, what will we be doing is that we will write this code in the Python scripting file, and then we will try to write this code in the HackerRank scripting file. So if you can see here, I've already written the code. I'll just delete this and write it again. So basically I start by defining my variable as define print underscore square, and I take a variable n into consideration, and then I give a range where I state that for I in range n. It means that I am going to go through each and every value of I which is there in the range of n. It means I've given a condition wherein which for all the values of I which are less than n, I am going to go through that. I need to print I square. So I will give I, and then I will give exponentiation. This is the symbol of exponentiation, and then I'll mention 2. So it is basically I square. Next, I am going to take my standard input here by giving n is equal to integer. So I'm already telling you that whatever input I'm taking it in the integer format, and then I'm going to tell that enter a non-negative value, or better than value, I'll write non-negative integer, and then close this. And then I'm going to again call the function that I've mentioned above once again as print square in bracket n. So this is how I write the program for calculating the square of a number which are all less than the integer that has been defined for n or which is stored in the n. Now I'll run this program. Okay, there is an error. I forgot to put actually colon. Okay, now let me see. I think I'll get another error. So is end. Now I think it will run fine. Now it is asking me for a non-negative number. I'll just give as 4. So it will give me 4 consecutive lines of output. So number that are less than 4 is 0, 0 square is 0, 1 square is 1, and 4 square, and then 2 square is 4, and then 3 square is 9. So this is how basically this particular program works. Now we have tried to write this program and run this program in the scripting file. Now let us go back to the HackerRank window and try to get the output in this particular window. Now these two functions I have already explained. These are the standard input functions, okay, or the code stub we call this as, which are already there in the scripting file to make sure that the error factor is actually reduced when you're writing the code. So now also here I will basically define the function define print underscore square, and I will call for my variable, and then I'm going to define a range for I in range of n. A range of n, and I'm going to give colon, and then I'm going to give a print function as I square. Now once this is over, I'm going to call my print underscore function once again. Print underscore square n. Now we are done with writing the code. Now let us try to run this particular code and see if we get the output. Oops, so there is some error. Okay, sorry, I forgot to close the bracket. Oops, there is some error. Okay, so we'll try to rectify the error. So normally errors are there. It is not to be taken like in a negative way. Errors actually help you to learn in a much better way. We'll try to see what is the error. Okay, it is a white space error. I need to go back, and now I will get a perfect answer. Yes, see, now I've got congratulations, sample test case is cleared. So they have taken a standard input of 5, and the standard output is 0, 1, 4, 9, 16, because the numbers that are less than actually 5 are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 numbers which are there in the current I value. So 5 consecutive output lines. So this is how you basically write the program on loops. So first 2 lines are standard input, which are already given in the scripting file when you're solving this in the HackerRank. And then what you do is you define a function called as print underscore square, and they will be trying to here by defining this function, that is define print underscore square. Here we have to mention the variable name also, because that is where we are feeding the input. And then we define a range for I in the range of n, means for every value that is less than the value of n, okay, the loop will be running through each and every value, and then it will print the output in a consecutive lines by squaring them. So I exponentiation 2, and then again I will call for the function that I have defined earlier by mentioning print underscore square in bracket n. So this is how you write this type of code on loops. I hope you have understood this, because I have tried to solve this particular question in both the different ways, where we are taking the input, that is the user input is given, and the other way where there are test cases which are already there through which this particular program is run. But whereas here what I have written here is I am actually feeding the input, or anyone else is giving the input here for n. So this is the one of the program on loops. In the next lecture, or in the next video lecture, we will be trying to solve another few questions on Python from the HackerRank. Thank you.